Okay, I'm about to start the replacement of my front strut spring assemblies on my 2010 Chevy Silverado, and I got everything in place: jack stand, new assemblies, impact wrench with 15mm socket, and I'm ready to get started. Also, I have the back wheels already chalked so I can raise the front end. I'm going to take off the top 3 nuts of the strut assembly. One of the 3 nuts has a plastic piece just to hold that wire conduit there. Kind of firmly wiggle back and forth and pull. You might have to pull pretty hard, but it comes off to expose the nut. Now I'm going to go ahead and lift up my truck. I have a 4-ton floor jack. It has a crossbar so I can get 2 lifting points at one time, which is very convenient when you want to lift up 2 sides of the car, or the front end, back end, or left side, right side at the same time. I do have to watch my hood so I don't hit it as I lift it. Might have to lower my hood. Okay, got the wheels off the ground. Alright, so got the jack, the floor jack, and I lowered the truck on to 2 jack stands that are under the frame for extra support and safety. I'm going to take off the center lug cover, wheel cover, and I'm just going to do everything from now on the driver's side, but also be doing the same on the passenger side. Now that I got the wheel off, there's 2 bolts at the bottom of the assembly on the strut, and it's a 15mm socket that's needed to take it off from the bottom side, and I'll do that now. Okay, not sure if you could see that. I got the bottom bolts out, and it's loose there, but I can't lift up on it because of the top of the frame that goes around the assembly that holds it in place. But you can see that the top nuts are off and it's loose. So I believe I need to loosen this up just enough. I don't even think I have to take it all the way off, but just enough where I can lift up on the strut and swing it inward and downward to get the assembly off. And I'm hoping that's all there is to it. We'll see. Okay, got a box end wrench on the top nut. I'm going to use my impact wrench on the bottom to loosen that up. Hopefully I don't have to go all the way. I might have to put the camera down to do this. As you can see, I loosened up the bolt almost all the way, but the nut's still on at the top. So I think I have enough room now to pull this off and down. I do, but I will need to set down the phone for a second. And it slid right out, and I got it on the ground. I'm going to go get the new assembly. There's the old and the new assembly side by side. I will need to take off those clips so I can put them on the new assembly. Also, the old assembly, I don't know if you could see it, but on the top here is like a little indentation right there that was pointing inward. This is the new assembly. I'm gonna have that same indentation pointing inward towards the engine as well. Don't know how much that matters, but I'm going to keep the same orientation as the old ones. I'm going to put the old clip on the new assembly, and it takes a little bit of force to get that on, so I'm just going to use a pair of pliers. Snapped in. Okay, a couple things to note. I got the old one on the right, the new one on the left, and the orientation does look like it is important, so I'm glad I noted that. This little indentation, here's the old one, it goes in towards the engine. Here it is on the new one, it goes in towards the engine. One other thing I wanted to point out is this is the nut from the old assembly. It fits on both, but here's the new nuts that came with the new assemblies. Fit the same thread pattern, but this one takes a 15 millimeter wrench. This one takes an 18 millimeter wrench. Basically, the old nut is beefier. I also like the old studs that were here better because they got a little lip that's not threaded, where the nut will be on to get it in place before you start screwing it, which is nice. On the new assembly, it doesn't have that, so not too big a deal. Just takes a little bit more to get it lined up. It wouldn't make it quite as easy if you just had an extension and you're reaching down with the extension to put the nut on. It would definitely be easier on the way these old studs are. But anyway, that's how it is. And like I said, the orientation is important. You can see at the bottom there, they're at a little bit of an angle, so they're angled correctly for the vehicle. So just a note, when you take it out, make sure you notice the orientation of the old ones before you put the new ones in. The new assembly slid right in, which is good. So I got the nuts off at the top still. And as a reminder, I still have the tie rod, how it connects to the control arm, that piece in the middle. Got it loose so that I could slide the Strut assembly out. So I still have that to tighten up too, but I'm going to go ahead and get at least the bolts in place on this bottom of the strut first, and then I'll tighten up the tie rod there, and I believe that's it. And by the way, I'm considering replacing this plastic bushing that's in between the two, because it's a little bit chewed up at the top. It's got a little bushing at the top that looks a little chewed up, but I don't have one at this time. But so anyway, that is something that I'll have to do. I'll have to get a couple bushings here. I'm going to check out the other side, and I'm sure I'm going to replace on both sides as well, but just making a note of that. Alright, I got the lower part of the assembly bolted in and tightened and torqued to 37 pounds. The top I just put on hand tight for now. And I'll get that from the top, 37 pounds. And I'm not loving that tie rod bushing. I'll be ordering one of those to replace when I get that part in. I'm going to go ahead and put the tire back on and do the other side, but I won't be recording that, so thanks for watching.